Alright, hello everyone, I am Fiston and this is an EB online battle fought between me, playing as the Lusotannan, against Phillip V, playing as the Romani, the SPQR, in the Republican era, in the plebeian era. Let's take a quick look at the armies first. As you can see, the skirmish phase of the battle is just about to start, so we have some time to check the units. I brought 3 units of Trokalubutiam, which are the standard Lusotannan slingers at the front. As my main line, I have 2 units of Loricati Scutari on each flank, well actually 1 on each flank for a total of 2, and 4 units of Scortamariva, or actually 5. Alright, I don't even remember well my own army from this battle. Really good start. Anyway, in my second line I have 2 units of Clona Tekonakt, one on each flank. On my left flank I have a backup of 1 unit of Iberica Itrati. In the center I have the Kaleke Rosca Itrera and my general unit, which is the Ambacaro, one of the best infantry units in the game in my opinion. For my cavalry contingent I have 2 units of Cantabrian light cavalry, the Cantabria Eponereidum, 1 unit of Ambacaro Epones, basically mounted Ambacaro, really excellent melee cavalry, and 1 unit of Ibericurisi, a medium cavalry with decent charging power. They are backed up by 1 unit of Gestica Poinan, which have high numbers and big shields, and spears as well. Philip's army sports some slingers as well in his first battle line. I think he has 4 Yaosatai. 1, 2, 3, 4, yes. 4 Yaosatai, which are just Celtic slingers. And by the way, with my slingers I am targeting his cavalry and not his own slingers. I would argue that targeting common slingers with other slingers is just waste of ammunitions, because the Yaosatai, oh actually he has Kalaim Numidim here also, probably because Yaosatai would have been too expensive, because the Yaosatai cost a bit more than the Kalaim Numidim. Anyway, Yaosatai have shields, which is a pretty big deal against missile units like the Trokalobutiam, because they have 1 or 2 attack and they have 1 or 2 shield, I don't remember, and shield is not bypassed by the sling ammos, which are armor piercing. So slings are extremely ineffective against shielded units, except cavalry of course, because cavalry is a bigger target, so the protection of the shield is less important than for infantry. Sorry about that. And also, as you will see in a moment, his cavalry contingent is a bit stronger than mine, so I was a bit concerned about the effectiveness of his cavalry, so I wanted to dwindle down his numbers. Anyway, his main line is composed of Principes, I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 units of Principes. I don't particularly like Principes as a mainline unit. They're a bit too heavy and too low in numbers, but they are extremely reliable and strong, as overall strong as a mainline. They also have 1 chevron, so they're particularly tough to deal with. He brought 3 units of Hastati with 1 chevron each, as a backup for his main line. Well, I would have inverted the proportions of these two units, but that's just me. I prefer lighter units with higher numbers in the main line, with heavier units with lower numbers on the flanks. For some reason I'm targeting his Hastati right now with my slingers. He has also 2 units of Triari, 1 unit of Mistoforoi Toxotai Kretikoi as a support for his missile contingent, and his cavalry, which is always his strong wing. Philip is particularly fond of extremely heavy cavalry wings. He has 2 units of Brihentin. No, actually he has only 1 unit of Brihentin. Alright, never mind. 1 unit of Brihentin, and his general in 1 unit of Equites Consulares, and 2 units of the Reguluses Exuorendoijoi. I'm not actually sure as when pronouncing Greek names in this case. These are basically Germanic light cavalry, which are extremely strong. Well, have heavy javelin, and they're well motivated, so they have high morale, high charge, big shields. So in skirmish battles between cavalry, they're a really good unit. So a heavy army overall, which shines especially for his charger cavalry, armor-clad charging cavalry, and his relatively heavy skirmisher cavalry. And by the way, note that we are playing in huge scale, and huge scale inherently favors heavy elite units. So his army is overall fairly strong. And actually mine too, because I have a main line of really strong units, the Scortamariva. I already threw my javelins at the Principes with decent results. Couple of casualties here and there. 5 here, 7, 8, no, 8 here, about 20 here, which is not that bad. He's, in the meantime, with his Toxotai Kritikoi is shooting at my Kalechi, and I take some time to notice that, so I put them in loose formation. And here I start my attack with my Loricati Scutari and with my other units. I don't remember if he has his units in guard mode. No, he actually doesn't. I don't think this is a big deal, to be honest. But right now I just wanted to have the advantage of the charge. And Scortamariva are a bit stronger than Principes. Also but on the other hand they have lower numbers because they got their Pila. They got shot by Pila, so they lost quite a bit of men. However, they are a bit stronger, so not a big deal. On this flank, well, I'm taking a lot of casualties on the Clona Tekonak due to javelins and arrows overall, because this unit was targeted by arrows, and this is a really good move by Philip, because it's extremely important to target lightly armored but strong units units that are strong in melee but lightly armored, like the Clona Tekonak, because they can absolutely shred Principes. So on this flank I'm pouring in some units, but things are at a stalemate, I would say. He loses these Yaosatai, which is not a big deal, to be honest. But here a big cavalry fight ensues. I throw in my Poneredam against his mercenary light cavalry, and also my Ambakaroepones. I throw in my Kurisi as well. They get it also in a charge, which is not that bad. But I think they get... yeah, this is a big problem in a cavalry fight, having the Triari come in. Here I have the Colonna Tecona, which is not that bad, to be honest, because the Colonna Tecona can easily deal with the Triari. These Gestica Poinan, I don't know where they're shooting exactly, but they're doing some work against the Triari. However, I think that I am outmatched in this cavalry battle. For some reason he's... oh yes, okay. This is the reason why I am quite outmatched. I got charged on this flank by his Brihentin, and these Draguluses, these Germanic lights, are staying in the fight even with 24 men. This says something about their resiliency and their morale. Really strong unit. The Brihentin are taking heavy casualties because the Cantabrians have AP Falcatae as a secondary weapon, which are deceptively efficient against heavy cavalry. As you can see, they lost already 15 men, which is quite a big deal. This is a mistake, I think, by Philip. He has left his Triari in guard mode for basically an age and a half, so they didn't really push to engage my cavalry, and this allowed me to really deal evenly with his cavalry for quite some time. However, here you see the difference in morale between my Cantabrians and his Germanic lights, yes. So my Cantabrians run, and now I'm encircled. I'm basically encircled, and I think I lost most of my Kurisi, yes. While my Ambakaroepones are doing a good job, they're not enough to withstand this. Also, there are the Cretans which are shooting at my Gestica Poinan, and they're shooting at a very favorable angle. This is doing a lot of work, to be honest. This is quite a big deal. And my Kurisi rout. So this engagement that started out as I think at an advantage for me, it turned out to be extremely bad, because I lost all my cavalry. As you can see, also my Ambakaroepones end up routing, and this is a unit with 20 morale. So this engagement was horrifying for my forces. However, on the mainline battle, things are looking way better for me, because I routed the unit of Principes that was here, thanks to the support of my Ambacaro, of my general, and this unit of Principes is now encircled and is going to fall pretty fast, because the Loricati Scutari are going to munch through them. And here I think this is a pretty big mistake. He engages his general against an elite infantry unit with armor-piercing weapons. This is quite a big deal. He loses many men unnecessarily. And it's not like the Ambacaro are going to rout very soon. And also he loses a lot of time here trying to rout a lot of my units. Try to rout, actually no, a handful of my units. For some reason he was stuck on routing these Loricati Scutari with his cavalry, which was not definitely ideal, in my opinion. He loses a lot of valuable time. He also charges these Gestica Poinan and loses many cavalry units. And this is actually something that turned out to be pivotal in the outcome of the battle. My Ambacaro opponents come back from routing and come back to fight. They're not exhausted, by the way, and they still have javelins, which is something not to be underestimated. Back to the main line, the Ambacaro are fighting the Hastati, which are absolutely no match. These guys are killers. They already killed 5 of them, 6. The Scortamariva are again winning against the Hastati, and here I have some Loricati Scutari against the Hastati, again a fight which is advantageous for me, and the Caleci versus the Principes, but the Principes are at an advantage here because they're quite better than the Caleci. This is something that was really dangerous though. I lose the Trocalobutiam and I lose the Scortamariva due to chain route, which was something that really endangered me of losing this unit of Scortamariva instantly, basically. I think they're going to rout anyway because of these charges, but still it's not ideal to throw in low morale units like the Trocalobutiam in heavily contested areas, because they are going to rout, and maybe your units, your own units, are going to chain rout because of the morale penalty of this unit. Here I lose the Scortamariva eventually, and you can see how I am constantly peppering his cavalry with my own. This fight is not really something that I should take, so I should run as soon as possible. Yeah, that's what I should have done even before. And luckily for me, he also lost his general. Well, he didn't lose his general, but his general unit is reduced to 3 men. Before it was 4, because he charged basically carelessly. And eventually I lose also the Scortamariva. These units I think are going to rout as well. Yeah, this one is routing. This one is going to rout in a bit. Luckily for me, these Hastati are dying. And right now, if you look at the battle, things are looking a bit grim for me, because I have lost everything here, and in 20 seconds all these units are going to fall down like wolves, like a pack of wolves on this fight. Also, he came back with the unit that previously routed. This was my mistake not to pursue that and kill them off. But this is actually a big deal. 61 Hastati is not something to be not wary of. And on my part, I can only call these Trocalobutiam as reinforcements from routers who actually came back. So things are actually looking pretty grim for me, in my opinion. Well, not really in my opinion, but at a superficial look. I have, though, 2 things that still go for me. Number 1, I have these Ambacaro still in the fight, and there's quite a number of them. 118 men is not a low number of such an elite unit. So, and also another thing is that my general is still alive in this unit. I don't actually know where he is, but the general is still somewhere here. I can't find him, but whatever. So I still have my general unit with a good number of men, and the general himself is still alive. Number 2, I still have cavalry, and it's a strong cavalry unit, which is 50% lower in numbers than his own left cavalry unit, but it's way stronger in hand-to-hand. Number 3, he has 56 triari and 21 principes, and also 81 triari, but let's say half of the numbers of these units are crap units. Iaosatai, Mistophoroi, Toxotai, Kretikoi, which are not strong in hand-to-hand. Also here he's got no, here he's got strong units, but I still have strong units too, because I have these Cortamariva, these Luricati, Scutari. So I'm left with a lower number of units, but with stronger units. So anyway, let's see how this plays out. And here I think this is a huge mistake that he does. He accepts a hand-to-hand fight against my Ambacaro opponents. As you can see, these are 14 men against 20. These were 25 before. Let's see how this plays out. So they fight, and they fight, and they fight. But also, this is a pretty big deal. He's fighting near my infantry, and the Ambacaro are really well suited to fight a heavy ironclad cavalry unit like the Brihentin. So my men are 14 and his own are 19 now. So I think this was a pretty big mistake. I think he wanted to get rid of my cavalry in a fight that he thought he would have won because of his higher numbers, but actually, as you can see, our numbers are now equal. So he lost a huge number of men unnecessarily, and a huge number of cavalrymen, which is extremely important because this cavalry is charger cavalry, and they could have routed a lot of my men just with their charges. Now I actually have more cavalry than him. No, they are equal now. But I'm going to have, I think, more cavalry than him in a bit, because he lost most of his men here. Here I run the risk of being encircled. In fact, my men are shaken now, or steady. These guys are shaken. The pressure from his more numerous units is quite strong. And right now he retreats his cavalry. And I think this is another mistake, because right now he leaves my Ambacaro opponents free to do whatever they want. Because if they were left in hand-to-hand, at least my Ambacaro opponents would have been fixed in a fight, and they couldn't have, for example, routed this unit. And this is actually a big deal. 26 Principes died. He instead goes for these Cortamariva, or actually he goes for the Trocolobutiam, which is not an important unit. He should have probably lined up here and charged here. While and again, he kind of loses the focus in the battle. He fights over here, and I exploit this weakness, and I fight over here where his cavalry cannot reach me, and I rout also these Hastati. And here I think it's a third crucial mistake that Philip did, is that he left his general in the back of his lines, like immobile, and I was free to shoot a lot of javelins to his general, and eventually he died. So even if they're only 11, they're still extremely powerful unit that has to be reckoned with. And these Cretans, as I forecasted, are already routed. The Principes are not going to last long. These Triari are resilient, but they're not going to fight forever, especially against the Ambacaro. Now he's trying to deal with my cavalry, but it's not an easy task, because I have stronger infantry units now. And he's stuck again against my Loricati Scutari, and these Principes rout because of the pressure of my Scorta Mariva and the cavalry. So he has a bunch of routing units now, which are in turn lowering the morale of his own fighting units. And here's his last mistake. He tries to rout these Ambacaro, which are not going to rout because the general is still alive. There's 20 morale unit, and he loses his Brientin as a result. And right now he was left with basically 3 units, which were no match for mine, and he admits defeat. So what's important to take away from this battle is that you don't have to surrender when things are starting to look grim, because your odds may be higher than you expect, especially if you have a lot of heavy infantry still on the field and your general is in a good shape and a good condition, and still alive, of course, which is included in good shape and good condition, I guess. Anyway, good game, really a thrilling battle, interesting fight, and yeah, I really did enjoy this battle. It was close and fought to the last. Our performances were kind of comparable. Also, our men deployed were similar, so I think this was a really good balanced battle. Well balanced battle. My Ambacaro were the heroes of the day, 346 kills against only 99 casualties, which, considering the amount of pressure these guys were subject to, is fairly impressive, to say the least. Scorta Mariva also did a good job, considering they got a lot of pila in their face, cavalry charged in their backs, they got abused in any possible way. Loricati Scutari, this unit especially, did an extremely good job. I think this is the unit that survived until the end of the battle, which is, I don't know if we can see them, yes, these guys here, which survived until the last. The Clona Tecona didn't perform as well as they usually do, because they were targeted by archers. They picked bad fights. The Principes they fought were chevroned, so they were stronger than usual. So yeah, whatever. They did one-on-one ratio, which is still good. The Caleci did decently. The Caetrati did poorly, but what do you expect? They are light armored. We are in huge scale, so heavier units are advantaged. Gesticapoinen did horribly, considering the fight they were picking, and also they got targeted by archers. I really like Philip's move of keeping his archers in the back and shooting at key units or key fights. That was, to be honest, a really good move. I remember that a lot of players in the old times used to complain about this, the fact that people kept archers in reserve. But I think this is a really good move, because yeah, you can use them in key moments and dwindle down the enemy numbers until you can cause a localized rout just with your arrows. It's a super effective way of using your archers. My cavalry overall performed poorly, but the Ambacaropones, they more than repaid their cost with 171 kills. Trokalobutiam did okay, I guess, for their cost. Anyway, good game again. Really enjoyed this battle. I hope you liked the video, and see you next time.